Hey everyone, it's me. Welcome back to this week's episode of my Best Vintage Life podcast.
What's up, guys?
I am joined by my co-host, Art Bazarkanian. How are you, Art?
What's up, guys?
My name is Bridget Morawski, and I'm the creative director of Baz Brothers Unlimited, a vintage wholesaler based in Fresno and Los Angeles, California. Don't roll your eyes. It's new listeners every episode.
No, that's not what I was doing.
People don't necessarily listen chronologically. Yeah, you were rolling your eyes. Just in our normal little detailed notes here, jumping right in. If you'd like to email us, you can do so at admin, ADMIN, at mybestvintagelifepodcast.com. Questions, comments, concerns, please send them that way. Social media, you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at My Best Vintage Life Podcast. Website, I switched over the website this week. Still selling through Shopify, but we have a new website hosting platform, and that's exciting. It was a decent amount of work, so I hope you enjoy it. It's the same layout as the last one, just a little different. You can still sign up for our newsletter there for vintage resellers. You can still purchase mentor sessions there and find our wholesale FAQs for anybody looking to place an order. Right now, there's just not other shopping available, which will change soon. It's just a work in progress. And then don't forget, if you'd like to show your love for the podcast in a non-monetary way, you can rate or review the podcast.
Show your love.
Show your love via the Apple Podcasts app or Podchaser. It's been a while since we got a review, so we'd love one.
I got in trouble last time I showed my love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost got arrested.
Just like anything else, there's an algorithm, and when you give us a good review, it puts us out there for more people to find and hopefully learn from and laugh with us. So thank you. And then check out my blog, The Girl in the Awkward Outfit, via Substack. That's S-U-B Stack, The Girl in the Awkward Outfit. Obsession at the moment. I do not have one this week. I couldn't think of one.
What?
Yeah.
Not even the Olipop?
I think I've talked about Olipop.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about that new one you had?
Which one?
Oh, ice cream.
I mean, I'm
That's a
always
given.
Obsessed with ice cream.
Yeah, it's true.
I should have had one before we did this.
Well, you can reward yourself and have one after.
Yeah. Can I have that It's It Pop?
Yes.
Okay. I've never seen that before. It's like a Sunday pop.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Do you have an obsession at the moment?
Yeah. These Modelo Oros.
Modelo Oro?
Yeah.
Is it like a light? They look light. It's a very small can.
Yeah, I think it's kind of trying to be like the Michelob Ultra.
Oh, yeah.
but
90 calories,
yeah.
3 carbs.
Yeah, it's actually
3%
pretty good.
Carbs. I can't do beer.
I know. But this is beer that doesn't slow me down.
Yeah.
It's like drinking water, but it's got a little taste to it.
I like beer. I like weird beers, I guess you could call them.
No, you have a really cool palate. It's very complex, so you need a beer that's complex. So you like your sours.
Yes,
you
I love
like
sours.
You don't like hoppy.
No, I don't do IPAs. No.
Right.
No. I've tried. I think maybe one time I had one that was just so smooth that I was like, I could do this. But
do you remember when Wu brought me
yes.
a couple of beers? And a couple of those were really good.
Yeah, but he spends a lot of money on those beers, right?
Wu doesn't spend money. he has connections.
He'll
drive.
Wu is Art's high school best friend who sometimes comes to the warehouse. That's his last name, but we just call him Wu.
Wooster.
He's cheap.
He's frugal. He's
yes.
frugal. Yeah.
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 He's
So he'll drive all the way to
willing.
San Diego and hit
Have a
all
beer?
go to the breweries and get things at discounted price because he has his brother-in-law has connections at all of them, so he gets 20% off. So I always say, hey, Woo, by the time you're done with gas, doesn't it come out the same?
Yeah.
No. I'm like, all right.
He knows it does. I'll always be a wine gal. I mean, I love a cocktail, but a lot of times I just don't have the energy to make one, or I don't have all the ingredients on hand unless I pre-plan it. So for me, it's white wine. I used to love red wine when I was younger, and then when I moved to California and you're in the heat a lot, just white wine. I love Riesling.
You know, that Boone's Farm strawberry doesn't count as a red wine.
Oh, God almighty. I did not drink Boone's Farm. I drank Arbor Mist.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We used to sell so much Boone's Farm when we had our liquor store. It was $1.87, and with the tax was 6.5%. So you
hangover from
and I
hell.
had to do the tax, manually. You piped in. So on the registry, put 187, 13 cents. So it's $2.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now.
I mean, I love Riesling. That's my favorite. I love a nice.
How about Gers? Gewürztraminer.
Yeah.
Gewürztraminer.
Love those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chablis.
Miss Chablis?
The Lady Chablis.
Lady Chablis.
Yeah. Whites. White wine.
All right. What are we hitting today? What's our topic? What's our
topic?
big topic?
Okay.
Is it the big picture?
It's the big vintage picture.
It's a very important big picture.
Yeah, Art and I brought this up to Art yesterday. I said, what do you want to talk about? And, we're like, do we want to educate? Do we want to talk about fashion? Do we want to talk about history? What do we want to talk about? And I had this idea, and it's really, from me, been pure observation. Now, granted, I'm not on social media a lot. I'm on a lot answering questions, messages, posting. I don't get to check out my feed much, but when I do,
I would say you're above average.
Probably.
You're not excessive.
Yeah.
You're not
because
compulsive.
I don't want to be one of those people that has absolutely no connection to, it's Golden State. It's the horse stuff. Should I go get it, or do you think they'll know to put it up top?
I would go get it because you're going to be worried the whole time.
Okay. You want to keep talking?
No.
Okay, let me pause. Okay, sorry about that. We're back. So we're talking about the big vintage picture, and I was talking about social media presence, and I notice a lot of people on social media when I am paying attention, which I actively try to do. I feel like there's a lot of people that are putting so much energy and
time
and effort. And I'm not saying these are bad things or bad qualities to have, but putting so much into social media without ever taking the time to step back and analyze what they are really getting out of it.
Yeah. No. Remember, the way I look at it is, and we were discussing about, the goal of your business, goal of your enthusiasm,
and
or as a collector.
The season your business is in. Because when I say what they're getting out of it, I don't necessarily mean how much money they're making off of it, because not every business is in the making money stage. You might in your first year be in the making connection stage, building your email list, building your following, an organic following. But then eventually that will hopefully translate into sales, into revenue. So I guess for me, it's, depending on what season your business is in, is all the effort and time you're putting into it, are you reaping rewards from that?
Right. But the thing is, though, you need to have set yourself what your goals are from it. Like, depending on your season. If your goal is to generate revenue, well, then you need to figure out, is the time and effort you're putting generating? If your goal is to, like you said, build a following and somehow translate that into revenue. I
agree with you on that, but I think goal setting and goal creation has become so archaic.
It is archaic, but the thing is, people have switched it to followers as opposed to
a goal, a tangible or an achievable goal.
Because you are not in control of your followers.
People look at that number as their goal, and it shouldn't be that way.
No,
a goal would be okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It was me. Go ahead.
A goal, instead of saying I want 500 followers, you could say, by the time I hit 500 followers, I hope to be growing my email list at the same rate, or I hope to be making X amount of sales per week. That's a goal, not just the number. I have just seen so much, and I've talked about this before in the podcast, people who you have a follower, they haven't been online in 2 years. They might get online once a month. They might not even use their account anymore. Just because that person counts as one doesn't mean they are one. They might be more like an eighth of one.
Do you remember in the early days, we would always talk about convertible traffic?
In what sense?
In that search engine optimization.
Yeah.
And the goal was to convert people that actually came to your site to actually, what is your ratio? And then the higher the ratio you had, then that was what you were going for, as opposed to a total number of visits. It's kind of like the same thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Or no, did I lose you?
You didn't lose me, but...
It's the same thing. is it more important to have a bunch of followers, or is it more important to have
You need
engaged?
to have engaged and converting. And once again, converting doesn't necessarily mean revenue. It could mean converting them to an email list, converting them
To engage.
Converting them to come to a pop-up, to be a physical presence. Yeah.
And you never know. You might convert someone to join the biz, join the community.
Right. And I see this girl. I don't know if she listens to the podcast or not, but we reciprocally follow each other on Instagram and TikTok, and I think she has great taste. She sells cuckoo vintage, which is my nice way of saying like out there, and the kind of vintage that I've always loved, and it was the vintage that got me started off. It's the funky patterns, funky prints, funky graphics, just not Americana like a lot of our clients buy. Yeah. She has really cool taste. And I constantly see her posting about being frustrated about the algorithm or about the amount of followers she had. And I did comment on one of her posts, and I can't remember if she read it or not, but I was like, hey, girl, what are you making from this? And I've had this conversation with people that I'm friends with, too. I don't necessarily consider her a friend because I don't know her that well, but I've had this conversation with my friends. Like, you're kind of belly aching and wallowing about wherever you are, but, like, what are you getting out of it?
What are you trying to get out of it too? That's like the thing,
right?
Like, it's really important. Like, remember, like what I was saying is, if you're doing this for pure joy, then get the joy.
Yeah, but there aren't many people out there that are getting pure joy out of social media. It's causing them a lot of stress. It's causing them a lot of anxiety. It's causing them issues with their, keeping up with the Joneses in a sense. What does this person have that I don't? Why does that person's body look like this and mine? It's just, it goes so far beyond people. I'm telling you, people, even though they're on there for a business purpose, they're really out of their heads on a lot of stuff.
So it's about discipline and focus when you're on there, huh?
It is, and it's hard for a lot of people because these apps, which are technically well-functioning, well-oiled machines, are designed to just suck you in.
Man,
I've never given in to TikTok.
It's a slot machine.
I guess so. Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they use all sorts of weird psychology.
Well, that's me. I could sit at a slot machine for 12 to 18 hours and not even blink.
But see, I have no desire to gamble.
To me, it's not gambling. It's just that's the equivalent of it. It's the same, like, you win, you lose. It's that endorphin. It's that hook.
Yeah.
Social media. For me, learned how to do that.
I get hooked on Pinterest. Which, honestly, if you're going to pick an app to get hooked on, I'd say Pinterest is like the least dramatic. You don't see anything about...
Isn't that the recipes and pretty pictures and places?
It's very visual. You don't see a lot about sad things going on in the world. You don't see anything really about politics. For me, I see like stuff about interior design, recipes, horse tips, like street style. So
that sounds really naughty.
I get sucked into what?
Horse tips?
Yeah, just the tip.
Just the tip.
No, like, exercises to help build your core to ride a horse, stuff like that. It's very, for me, Pinterest is very harmless mentally for me. I never, ever get off of it and feel stressed. Now, some people use Pinterest as a serious driver of revenue. A lot of people don't make money from it, but some businesses, it's big money for them.
Wow.
So it might be stressful for some people. That's the thing. It's subjective to every person. Not everybody has TikTok. Not everybody has Instagram. So
these are tools that you should use wisely.
Use wisely, but also, look, like, going back to our topic, look at the big vintage picture. Okay, to me, nobody's big picture in any business should be their social media.
No.
Like, at all. I think that's a portion of the picture.
Yeah.
It's a sizable portion for some people not so much, but it's not the big picture. So in your opinion, what is part of the big picture?
The big picture has to start with, what are you in it for? What is it that you're doing? Are you a business owner trying to grow revenue? And if that's your goal, then it should be about numbers. Now, if it's about, I really love engaging with people, I love learning, and then fine, I get it. But to me, the big picture for me is moving product. Right? And moving the product to the people I actually like.
Velocity. And velocity is different for everybody. You have some people who are like, okay, turn and burn, let's get it moving, get it in and out the door. And some people will sit on an item for 8 weeks. Velocity is so subjective as well. But that can be a season that you're in.
That velocity has to be very close to what your buy habit is.
Correct.
You have to have that imbalance.
Well, that's where, in balance.
Correct.
Not imbalance.
Not in balance.
Yeah. And that's where retail math really comes in handy.
Correct. To know how many weeks of stock you need. How
fast you may sign up for on our website at the everyday low price of $19.99.
Velvet Jones.
Retail math class if you're interested. No pressure, but it is helpful. Even if you just have a few key terms under your belt.
Even the dinosaur loved that retail math class.
Dinosaur has not taken retail math class.
She needs to. She talked about it.
She has her own math.
Oh,
she said that before.
Yeah. I have my own math. It's I use that abacus thing.
Yeah.
That's why you're the dinosaur.
Okay, getting back on track. So the big picture.
All right, so let's say you're in a situation. You're like, all right, you know what? I really like what Bridget has to say. And Art was kind of funny. But I don't know why I kept interrupting her because I was really liking listening to her. So what should I do if I really do want to evaluate? What steps do I take? What do I look at? Do I look at how much time I'm spending? Do I look at what my sales are coming from? How do I know that I need to adjust?
Well, one thing you can do is you can look at your screen time on your phone if you have an iPhone. I don't know if there's a counterpart to that to the Android system, but you can see breakdowns, and there's other apps you can download for this, but breakdowns of what you're spending on social media. Now,
what do you mean by that? Like it'll tell you, how many minutes you were on.
And a percentage of the pie chart is social media, and then it breaks it down by minutes. And
it could do that on daily for you?
Daily, yeah.
You can make a log.
You probably don't want to see mine right now. I've been on social media a lot today.
No, it's fine.
Answering questions.
No, I just want to be able to help people so they can be accountable.
This is my day today, June 9th. I've been on social media for an hour and 58 minutes today.
Okay.
A lot of that's
Is that a lot?
Well, yeah, and I've been answering questions about the shorts, the short deal that we're doing. Yep. So, and then it breaks it down by Instagram, 1 hour and 19 minutes. Okay, so let's use me as an example today, right? I've spent an hour and 19 minutes on Instagram. Okay.
How much on TikTok?
12.
Okay.
Not much interaction.
Is there a Facebook?
I don't have the Facebook app on my phone. Okay. I hate Facebook.
I got you.
Like I literally just have the Facebook Messenger app.
So those are the two biggies for most people?
Yeah. I spent 30 minutes on email, 24 minutes on text, 13 minutes on Safari, which is my browser. And then, it breaks down a little bit further. Weather. And then I readjusted our camera system in the warehouse because we had some Wi-Fi changes. So I was on that app for 9 minutes. But just so you know, it breaks it down. So
that's very nice.
Yeah. So I spent an hour and 19 minutes on Instagram. Now for me today, for our business today, being on Instagram was incredibly. Oh, sorry, I had my do not disturb. Let me put it back on. Being on Instagram today for me, for 1 hour and 19 minutes was insanely profitable because right now we're running a short special, a wholesale short special.
You mean cutoffs?
Yes.
Not a short special, like a
denim cutoffs.
Denim cutoffs.
Now, I can look at that 1 hour and 19 minutes and say, hey, it was an hour of my time, but well spent because I got a lot of orders for us. Now, if I look at that at the end of the day, let's just say it's only 2:46 here. Let's say it's 8:46 at night. And I'm looking at that, and that 1 hour and 19 minutes turned into maybe 2.5 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Is that normal? 3 hours for somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's not great, but totally. For me, some days that's just how it is.
Okay.
Let's say I look at those 3 hours and I say, I analyze. So you're talking about what steps can you take? This would probably be my first step. I say, okay, I've been on social media for 3 hours today. What did I get out of it? Did I get any email signups? Did I get any new followers? And if so, did I interact with them? Did I send them a hi, hello? Or did I just kind of because when you're in your growing season of growing your Instagram, a lot of people have the ability to greet every single follower. I can't do that. I don't have the time to do that, but some people do. And it's a good way to build a relationship.
I like that. You should do that.
I used to do it. I used to send video hellos. Oh my God, that was so nice. But it's been a long time since I've been able to do that. But okay, so did I get any new email list subscribers? Did I get any new followers? If so, did I interact with them? Did I get any sales? What is my revenue for today? All depending on the season of business you're in. So if you hit that 3-hour mark and you look and say, crap, I didn't get anything out of that.
Except
you might have learned something.
It would have been like equivalent to watching TV.
Yeah, like a documentary maybe. I don't know.
But I'm just saying.
Or it depends on what you're looking at. Are you looking at other accounts and saying, what can I learn from them?
Yeah, educate
or
yourself.
are you looking at silly reels?
Gotcha.
Which are like TikTok, Instagram's answer to TikTok videos. So are you looking at silly bullshit, some girl, popping her ass around, like, shaking it? Or are you looking at, there's a lot of people dancing on reels and TikTok.
Okay.
I was just trying to be funny.
That is funny.
So are you looking at like a jiggling ass? Or are you looking at how you can build your business?
Yeah, there's like
Sometimes it's fine to look at the jiggling ass or the dog or the horse that's, making
Singing.
a funny face or he's singing. But should probably be less of that and more, might be a horse jiggling their ass. But you should really be focusing more on things like if you didn't get anything out of it for your personal business, what did you get out of it? What did you learn from looking at others?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
100%. Now, I like to keep things positive. So let's say you found out that you wasted your time.
Okay.
Okay.
Totally.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just try. Try to say, you know what? I'm going to do something productive on it. Whether, like Bridget just said, to educate myself, or I'm going to try a different approach and I'm going to go like, hey guys, just got in a bunch of X and I'm offering them to you right now for this price. Make it a call to action in a sense. Put yourself out there.
Call to actions are very important. No matter what season your business is in and what you're trying to achieve, a call to action doesn't mean buy this. Sign up now. It could be something as simple as message me.
Or do you think it's
leave your email, or drop your email in this sign up?
Yeah. Or do you think it's too early to sell T-shirts? Or do you think it's too early for sweatshirts? Or just something to kind of get a gauge of what the people that are interacting with you, what is it that they're looking for in a sense? Mm-hmm. So that way you could be very target specific.
And this is social media heavy only because prior to social media, business was business, and there are a lot of factors that went into running a business, and those factors still exist today. Social media is the biggest factor that 10 years ago wasn't as heavy of a presence. 20 years ago, not a presence at all.
The reason we're focusing on it, I think, is to get people to get back to communicating and talking with their clients, talking with people that walk into your door, and also focus on them.
Yeah. And I think this is
not
hardest.
Being famous on social media.
It's so hard for people that don't have a brick and mortar or don't actively get involved in pop-ups or don't have like a long-term pop-up lease. The people who are online only, it's really hard because that's the only opportunity you're giving yourself really to engage.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
Right. Because I don't think it's a true measure. It's you could have the most dynamic personality, but it might not show through TikTok or Instagram. I know a guy who's amazing face to face, but you put him in front of that camera, 75 takes later, he might get something right.
Hold that thought. I forgot we have to do ad reads, so I'm going to do them back to back, and then I have another thing I wanted to talk about. Okay?
You could have just said, shut up, Art.
I would never say that. Okay, our first ad. 3 Marguerites, resellers of curated finds on eBay. Antique, vintage, contemporary. Hand smock dresses on Sunday mornings. Pearl snap shirts in the same dance hall where Grandpa waltzed Granny. He granced her.
He granced her from behind.
A Shetland wool sweater. I'm sorry, Lisa, for ruining your ad. A Shetland wool sweater keeps you cozy around the campfire. Chicken soup and the price is right under an heirloom Afghan. We hope you'll find these memories and more in our eBay store. 3 Marguerites gladly ships overseas purchases through the eBay Global Shipping Program. And you can find 3 Marguerites, ebay.com/str/3 Marguerites. That's MARGUERITES. Thank you for your patronage. Elwood Vintage was opened in 2016 with a dream and 3 t-shirts. 6 years later, Elwood Vintage has the perfect piece for every occasion. Put on an Elwood Vintage tee and hear the loud guitars screaming, feel the drums beating, and you're singing your heart out at your favorite 80s rock concert. We have that Buttersoft biker tee that will take you back to your first motorcycle ride with the wind in your hair with 0 Fs given. Visit elwoodvintage.com. Don't forget about that perfect crisp pair of jeans to jump into in the morning. When you buy vintage, you're buying more than the clothes. You're buying the memory and the good vibes that come. Elwood Vintage. Wear them till they melt off. Thank you for your patronage. And I will be back with patron program announcements in a minute, but I wanted to go back to what we were talking about. I was talking with someone that we've been doing some business with, a young man, and he said that he wants to take a break from social media because he feels like he can't be vulnerable anymore. And that really struck a chord with me.
Because you're putting yourself out there.
And he feels like he can't be himself. And that made me really sad.
Because of his opinions, because who he is?
I don't know. He has a pretty decent following, and the more followers you have, the more knuckleheads you have to deal with, and shitty comments, and people. Believe me,
I get it. I know you get your stuff.
There is so much unsolicited advice and opinions especially on TikTok. It is brutal.
Really?
Oh my God.
How about getting it where people come into your warehouse and try to tell you how to run it? You just say,
I know.
That's nice. That's nice.
But
yeah,
that's
back
you,
to this.
That's you.
I know, but
this is a young person. They're 23.
I did it when I was fucking young. I told people like, hey, man.
I know, but
you
I'm
do
saying
you,
now
I do me.
Young people face a lot more criticism.
You know why? Because they all got freaking ribbons. That's why. They didn't teach them the difference between, like, just learn to
everybody
stand up.
gets a gold star.
Everybody gets a gold star. No, stand up for yourself. He's kicking ass, and he does not need to apologize to anybody.
Well, he knows that. He knows that.
Better.
But it's still, it's easier said than done. You're not on social media, right?
No, thank you.
Right. So
I'll tell him to fuck off. Telling me to wear weird shit.
Not. What? Wear weird what?
I don't know. Who's that freaking idiot that was trying to tell you to donate this and
no, we're not. No, we're not. I talked about that on the private episode. No,
Yeah.
We're not getting into that on the public episode.
Yeah, I'd love to see that clown show up here. I'll pop him in his head.
Okay, let's
just saying
refocus. I want to go
and
back.
People learn when you hit someone. They learn. Go ahead.
Oh, Art, no.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
I've hit someone. I'll admit it. It's not a thing I'm proud of. I don't want to
promote
violence.
That's not violence. You disrespect me.
I don't think you understand.
Get ready for a can of whoop ass. That's what's missing. Act right. You don't. If I don't act right, I expect someone to either tell me or hit me.
So we'll be number 400 on the charts next week.
Whatever. All I care about is the art chart.
You're pulling away from where I was going.
Okay, we're going back to where Bridget was going. No more pulling. Let's go back.
Someone saying they can't be themselves online makes me sad.
And I'm telling him, sack up and be you.
Okay, that's not easy for everyone, Art, and not everyone is you.
Why are you saying my name repeatedly?
Just like not everyone's me. You know how easy I pop off to people, and people look at me like I'm nuts.
We are nuts.
Okay. Well.
We're different than everybody because we're learning. We stand up for ourselves. We're not going to get bullied into being who we're not. And he shouldn't either.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
But what I wanted to say is that I think it's sad that someone feels like they can't be themselves online.
True.
And if someone's giving you crap for being yourself, then they're not the right follower for you. I don't know if you know this, but like you can block people. You can actually remove someone as your follower and not block them. Like if they're just being silly or stupid, if they're not being like rude or aggravating you, just remove them as a follower. Then they won't see your stuff anymore. Then you don't have to deal with them. I am a firm believer in quality over quantity. And the people that are following you need to see you be vulnerable and see you be yourself and be able to be okay with it. If not, they should know better to unfollow you or to just not look at your shit.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Would you say followers are like your little private village?
It's like your
community.
Community is a really good word.
And if there was a person in the community that wasn't acting right and he was burning down other people's huts and houses, would you say the community's obligation is to remove this person and put him away from everybody?
If you have a strong community, your community will stand behind you. And I've had,
and if you aren't being absurd, and that person is absurd, so you should just remove them and not feel that they don't have the right to be in your community because they don't know how to act properly.
Right.
And that's exactly the advice you're giving is
and you can
remove them.
Set boundaries for people.
Right.
You know, if you have a bad experience, post something, you know, do a video, post a story like, hey, this is what I expect out of you as my followers. This is the respect level I hope that you will give me. If you do not, I'll either remove you as a follower or I'll block you.
Yeah.
And don't expect reciprocity from me as a follower.
Here's the best part. A lot of times when you take that stand, people know that they can't do that to you or they'll unfollow you, which is great because that's not your
every day.
That's not your community.
I set the tone real quick, and a lot of people have learned quick from me. Some people probably think I'm a bitch. I'm not. Listen, just have very little time to mess around.
I teach this to my kids, okay? And some people don't like it, but I don't give a rat's ass. Life is not a popularity contest. You have to be you, regardless of what that is, and people need to learn to accept it as long as you're not being a jerk to anybody else.
Yeah, but unfortunately, social media has been set up to be like that. And
nope. Life isn't social media.
Oh, I mean, I know you feel that way.
It's a tool. You don't use a hammer for everything. You need a screwdriver. You need a drill. You need a saw. You need different things.
But you're a different generation. I'm a different generation. The younger generations, there's a lot of them listening to this.
Teach them.
It's very different for them.
Right. That's why we're trying to empower them.
I mean, I see kids walking to school every day with their noses almost up to their phone, just sucked in. There's no well, that's why in-person communication. It's even more important to communicate to them and explain to them that's not reality. Yeah. So I just want you to know, if you're a young person listening to this and you're building your business, there's so much more to business than social media. There's a big picture. It is part of your picture, and it can definitely help you grow. But if a year from now, 2 years from now, TikTok disappears, Instagram disappears, I hope you have some eggs in another basket. I really do, because you'll be screwed. By eggs, do you mean email list? Email list, website. I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum. Pop-ups. But I just want to remind people, because sometimes we get new listeners and they just jump in. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I personally, if I could pick, I would have a brick and mortar if I was a vintage reseller, or I would do a long-term pop-up, just to really build a local physical following versus a purely virtual one. And obviously, I think the ultimate game winner would be having a brick and mortar or a long-term pop-up, and also having a website. That's about as good as it gets. And luckily, a lot of places, a lot of cities are now doing these long-term pop-ups, these temporary spaces that people can experiment and see in a test sense, how their business can grow, and if it's something that's meant for them. And some people it's not going to be for them. They can only do online because they have a full-time job and they can't walk away from that yet. There's a multitude of reasons, but I really do like the idea of physical selling, and even if it's just doing a flea market once a month, it's just getting yourself out there, and having a local audience is really helpful, especially living in the era we live in of such, virtual conversations and virtual presence. It's nice to have that physical presence. So I'm going to go into our patron program now. No new patrons this week. Some people do owe us patron questions, burning questions, but we haven't gotten them, so that's okay. Whenever you're ready, you can send them my way. First off, we have the $5 level. You get an on-air shout out. It's especially great for those of you who have businesses, and you get to ask Art a burning question. We ask that on air and he gives his response, and you get access to 2 bonus episodes a month. Right now we have over 25 bonus episodes in the back catalog. You have access to those as long as you're a paying patron. So if you just can't get enough of Art and I and you want to learn even more and get some juicy gossip and some backstory, the bonus episodes are great. I don't want to say I'm not myself on these episodes, but I let loose sometimes on those and laugh, complain, tell weird stories. So
it's a crack up. I love
for
listening
$5,
to
you get a lot of value out of it.
Yeah.
And Art's been joining me on some of the bonus episodes. He's trying his best to do as many as possible. There's 2 a month. If we could get him to at least do 1 a month, that would be great. And that's the $5 level. The $20 level, you also get access to those bonus episodes, but you're getting an ad on the podcast. So I just read our 2 ads. You get to give me a 30 to 60 second ad, copy of your choice. You get to write it, and I'll read it twice a month on our public episodes. So if you're looking to grow your business, get some new action on your website, build your email list, whatever it may be, it's really I think it's worth it to do an ad on the show. We have listeners all over the world in many, many different countries, so especially great for those of you who ship internationally. And then our $25 level is all the same features of the $5 level. On-air shout-out, burning question for Art, 2 bonus episodes a month, and you get to do some text mentoring with me via the Nudge app. So it's a one-on-one conversation with me to help you with your business questions. You get to ask 2 burning questions a month. And if you're interested in our video mentor calls, those are now being sold through our website. You can do a 1 session, it's not really a package, it's just 1 session, a 3-session package, and then 6-session package. And those range from $75 to $300.
Nice. You know what I wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this past week we did a TikTok or an Instagram? I don't even remember. With the Lee jeans.
I put it on both. So
Okay.
both. Yeah.
So
a lot of people have seen it.
Yep. So I had somebody reach out and they said, I saw this and they called me and they asked if it's possible to buy some. So I said, sure. And when is a good time?
Okay.
Right? And I said, well, let's do a video call tomorrow at X time. And I literally spent 10 to 15 minutes on the phone and was able to show them, because there was 2 people there buying on the other end. And they ended up picking 25 to 30 jeans and different things that they loved and paid and shipped. So it was 15 minutes of time, generated decent revenue. So that's like a tangible thing, like you can say, okay, somebody saw my reel or video and was interested in it, and go that extra step for them. If they want to do a video call with you, do a video call.
I do want to say, if you're listening to this, you might remember when I did have that set up on our website, virtual shopping. The reason why we stopped doing it is because for the longest time we had very bad Wi-Fi issues here. And we just haven't started it back up again because we've been busy. So the one thing I do want to call out, I think that's a really good suggestion with Art, but definitely make sure that wherever you're doing this, you have a very strong Wi-Fi or internet signal, that you have good lighting, and that you're prepared going into it, especially if you're charging people
well, I didn't charge them for the time for them because I just said, because I knew they were going to.
Well, you told them
if
you spend this much, I won't charge you for my time. Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. And so just be open and then have a rack ready. Have things that someone was interested. Oh, I loved your rock tee you showed. Do you have more? Well, put a rack together and then have that video and just go through.
So this is another great example of time put into social media. We took time to make a TikTok, and then people, we reap the benefits of it.
Exactly.
And
but the thing
those
is,
people were interested in stuff other than the Lee, right?
Yeah, and
then it gets them looking at other stuff.
And they've also set up a visit for July.
Right.
So which is great. So the point is, don't stop like the process. Just go that extra effort. Of course I'm super busy. Of course I'm putting orders together. I've got tons of things, but at the same time, the whole point of me putting time into the videos is to get, to move some of the stuff. That's why I do it.
Yeah, Art the TikTok influencer.
I don't influence anything.
I
just show. I'm the exhibitor.
Oh no, I just had a great idea and I forgot it. God damn it.
It's that sieve of yours.
No, your head's a sieve. That's what my mom used to say.
Your head is a sieve.
His head's a sieve. His head's like a sieve.
Yeah.
No, I just had a really good idea. It was about the video call. Maybe it'll come back to me. In the meantime, though, I did have one of our longtime listeners reach out because she had heard me talk about my great aunt on a past episode.
Oh, yeah.
My great aunt Lou, who passed away, and she had worked in the garment industry. And I said if anybody had any relatives who had also done so and they wanted to share their story, I would read them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So this is from Miss Masters Closet. That's Miss MISS Masters MASTERS Closet on Instagram. And oh, sorry, I just closed out of it. Give me a second. And they have a link tree on their Instagram if you want to check out their stuff. Okay. I lived in New York City for many years before finding out some interesting facts about the namesake side of my family from my aunt. My grandfather, Max Master, nee Max Meister, but the name was anglicized, changed upon coming into America, arrived in New York City via Ellis Island circa 1906, which is cool because that's around the time when a lot of my family was coming over as well. Their father...
It was the pierogi famine.
Yes. No. Stop. That's a good Polish joke.
Thank you.
Their father, Isaac Israel Master, what a name, she said, was already working as a tailor in the garment industry, and Max's two older sisters worked at Bonner's Embroidery. Girls? Maybe as in girls' clothing. On March 25th, 1911, Max witnessed the infamous Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, which later inspired him to become a union organizer. As someone who was already living in New York City for 10 years and have always loved seeing sewing, embroidery, and textiles, it was truly a magical moment to realize this connection with my own unknown family history. I think there's more in our genes than we know.
Oh, 100%.
Isn't that a fun story?
It is. They say that your blood pulls. I mean, I always think of me and people laugh like, I tried everything. I was a biochemistry major, became a doctor, but yet I'm selling shit. It's in the blood. And that's what my dad did. Yeah. That's what my grandpa did, my great-grandfather. It's in my name and blood.
It's funny because for me, I don't see it,
What's that?
Because my Aunt Lou wasn't a blood relative for me. She married into the family. So within my family...
No, you're an alien. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced of it.
I mean, my dad was always very creative and my mom was creative, but there's absolutely no one in my blood relatives that worked in garment or clothing industry.
No, I see the creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More so.
You've just chosen.
But it's not like I'm a seamstress or I know how to sew well. So I guess, I wouldn't expect that of me. I think it's more of the creativity.
Yeah.
I watched my mom, what little we had, she decorated well with what she had. And my dad would win visual merchandising awards for when he worked specifically for CVS as a store manager. Which, it's like, okay, it's a drugstore. How much can you do? But still, it's a creative process. So I thought that was a really cool story.
Oh, it's a great story.
And I don't remember what it was that I was going to say. It was something specific about the video calls. But
the Wi-Fi, make sure you have good Wi-Fi. Make sure you're prepped.
Yeah.
And make sure you have, ideas of, don't go, oh, I really like that shirt, the third one. How much is it? I don't know.
Go into it with a review.
Because you want to save your time.
Well, what I was going to say is, if any of these issues to you, if you're listening to this and you have oh God, I have this issue, I have that issue, I need to work on it, I need to grow, and you want to, work one-on-one with me with that, that's a really great thing to work on during our mentor sessions. I think a lot of people, when they come into the mentor session, they're like, well, what are we going to talk about? And I've definitely helped a lot of people kind of focus themselves on the social media aspect and figure out, what do I really want out of this? Am I growing at the rate I need to? And not everybody wants to talk about that, and that's fine. But if that's something you've been struggling with and you want to talk about it with me, that's a really great thing to schedule a mentor session for. So
absolutely,
because I feel like one thing I've really prided myself on, and I'm proud to say we have, is very high engagement on our accounts. We might not have 100,000 followers, but the followers we have, we're highly engaged, and it's like a community. It's like a family.
It is, and that's
very important, and that's to me worth way more than any number.
Exactly.
So, I don't think we did the patron program. No new patrons. We did our ads. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, you covered things so well.
Yeah, and if this episode to you, like if you're listening to it and you're like, I don't know, this doesn't make sense to me, or you have like maybe an idea to further develop the topic, like point A, B,
Bigger
C.
picture.
Yeah, I mean, we started off with the big picture, but if you want to get nitty gritty or do some bullet points, like we're doing a little outline for a report, Art's like, oh God, here we go. Here comes the nerd. Let us know. Get in touch with us. We give you various ways to do so. And if you are interested, we mentioned our denim short offer. I figure worth mentioning while we're recording. Yeah. Right now, we are doing a denim short offer.
These are shorts I've had for about 10 to 15 years. We bought out a place down in Southern California, and there were probably 20 to 30,000 shorts.
And I think it's worth mentioning, these were already shorts. I've had people on TikTok, what do you do with the scraps? And like all these people are like liking it. I'm like, okay, if you watch our profile and don't get that we recycle just about everything.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't understand, or you didn't listen well. These were already shorts, and Art had the great idea to even them out because a lot of them were wonky or just not
different
complementary lengths.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of dowdy, frumpy.
Right.
Almost like clam diggers, which if you like those, that's you. They look like shit on me.
they went down to the knee.
Yeah.
They were uneven lengths. So I said, you know what? Let's just cut them all a cute, conservative but cute length.
Yeah, it's like not.
We did a 3-inch. Yeah, we did a 3-inch inseam.
Yeah,
and it's just perfect. And so they're from the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Mm-hmm. You get, with your order, it's $199. You get 25 pairs of denim shorts, and you get shipping included. Now, that's for the continental U.S. I've had someone place an order from Canada. Let's talk if you're interested and figure out what the shipping will be for you.
It's an extra $25.
I don't think it's worth it really for anybody else, like in Europe or Australia. I think it's just not really going to be beneficial cost-wise for them.
No.
So I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that's just the way things are right now with shipping. And if you're in California, I would need your resale license to see a copy of that. So that's something to keep in mind. But right now I have the link in our link in bio, which you can find on TikTok and Instagram. And if you can't figure out how to get it, let me know.
We cut.
Yeah, so we're doing.
I said, we did 2,000 of them.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I just want to let them know that in less than 24 hours, we've already sold 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's still 1,000 left, and I'll probably cut more in the coming weeks. But for now, that's what's ready to go and ship.
And we're selling 2 size groupings. We're doing, so when you get these, if you order them, disregard the tag size. We're doing measured. So measured 24 to 30 or 30 to 36. And that is all we have to offer. So please don't ask me, why don't you have this size or why don't you have that size? That's just,
you know what I was thinking of doing?
The sizes that exist.
I was thinking of doing it like a 34 to 40.
Do you have it?
I do.
Oh, see, well then why wouldn't you tell me that?
I just did.
That's a lapse of communication.
I just told you. What lapse is there?
Now there's probably people listening that are like, oh, I would have bought that.
Well, maybe you should.
Let's...
Option 2,
look,
3.
Let's talk first, you and I. Okay,
right.
So anyone that heard that, just pump the brakes, because Art should have told me that beforehand. Sorry about that. Regardless, if you placed an order, you're going to get fabulous shorts. It's a nice little way to test denim shorts. I've had a few people say, hey, I don't know anything about women's clothing. These are all women's silhouettes. And we are putting together some order for people who want more of a men's cut. But it could be a great test for you. We always talk about testing your product and testing your customers. And it's low risk, potentially high reward.
If you want to talk what we think suggested retail price could be for you, we can help you with that as well if you're new to selling shorts. So that's all I have for this week. In the meantime, my friends, stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, be kind, and don't be basic. And I'm saying goodbye for Art and myself because he almost peed his pants. Bye.